I'm Steve Drummond, Superintendent of Commerce ISD, and I'm here today at Commerce Elementary School with our admin team, our principal, Miss Haley McDonald, and assistant principal, Miss Jennifer Dexter. And just going to spend a little time with these two ladies talking about Commerce Elementary School. Give you an opportunity to get to know each of them a little bit better personally and some of the things that are happening at Commerce Elementary School. So we'll start with you, Miss McDonald. Give us just a couple of minutes on kind of where you grew up, where you went to school, what encouraged you to become an educator, and how you became to be principal at Commerce Elementary School.
All right. So born and raised in Mesquite, Texas, went there, went through all of their ISD as far as from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. Ironically, her and I actually went to the same school, Poteet High School, shout out. And so after that, I pursued elementary education with an emphasis in bilingual education and began my career in Mesquite as an alum and worked there for 4 years. And then that was at Berry Middle School in 6th grade. Transferred to Princeton to just take on a slower pace of life, and then Princeton caught up to us because Princeton just exploded. And so from there, we moved out to Cooper, and I was lucky enough to find myself here in Commerce ISD and have been here for the last 4 years, serving both as the AP and as the principal now since 2024.
Okay, thank you. And Miss Dexter, if you'd kind of give us the same kind of rundown, please.
Okay, I'm also from Mesquite, and she and I are both Poteet Pirates. I also taught in Mesquite for 15 years and made a move to the country out of the big city and did a little bit of time in Raines and have been in Commerce ISD for 6 years. I taught for 5 years, 2nd grade, and have moved up to the assistant principal role.
Okay. And what encouraged Ms. McDonald, back to you. What encouraged you to become a teacher and now an administrator? Is there anybody in your past maybe that really influenced you to end up in the seat you're in now?
Absolutely. This is my 14th year in education, and in fact, my interest in teaching began at a very early age, playing teacher with my best friend down the street, all the way through planning for college courses that would allow me to pursue that goal. And then when I realized that I had a knack for second languages, it just seemed natural to become a bilingual teacher. My passion truly is in helping those that need it most. And in that community, I found that there is a great need and a huge appreciation for taking the time to learn the language and appreciate the culture. And so in that, I found fulfillment in just helping those students that are some of our most vulnerable. And with that, I can say that my inspiration to help others began at an early age as well in my volunteer work at the Jewish Community Center, all the way through different opportunities in high school and then up to college, where I was lucky enough to go on a 3.5-week abroad program where I was able to look at schools in third world countries, which made me even more so appreciative of what we have here, and then bringing that knowledge back of how we can best help these students that are arriving.
Okay.
And all students in general,
right.
But yes.
Ms. Dexter?
Yes, I can remember my 1st grade teacher, Miss Tynert. She had a shoebox with all the cards that had the digraphs and blends and letter sounds in it. And so in 1st grade, I had brought my little box that had cut up papers that had all of my sounds. And so on the school bus on the way to school, I was next to the child next to me, teaching them those sounds. And I think that's when I knew that this is something that I would want to do, and just, it just was a natural thing that I loved. And so it just, that memory, and then of course through high school, participating in things that were like volunteer work like she did. We had lots of opportunities in Mesquite to volunteer and do peer helper things, to where we went to the area elementary schools and were able to be peer tutors to students, and those types of things that help you realize that, yeah, this is something I want to do when I grow up, and something that I want to continue to do through my adult life.
Okay. Interesting that both of you knew pretty early in life, that you want to be educators, and I don't think there's anything any more fulfilling than really doing what you feel like you should be doing. So it's nice for the community to know that we've got two ladies here that were led into this field and really enjoy what they're doing. I want to talk a little bit about the campus initiative as we've been going through our state accountability meetings, our improvement meetings. One of the things that we regularly talk about is early childhood literacy. And so if you would, just talk a little bit. I saw this actually pinned to Miss McDonald's outside her door. It says Reading Rock Star. This award is presented to said student for meeting this goal. So obviously, reading Commerce Elementary School is front and center. So if both of you just talk for a minute about what we're doing to improve our early childhood literacy at Commerce Elementary.
You couldn't have asked me a question that I am more impassioned to answer, because that is actually the foundation of just my master's studies and graduate studies, and just at the root, what I fully believe is a human right, which is the right to literacy. Everybody, regardless of race, religion, creed, should be able to pick up something and read it in their native language and acquire information. And so with that being said, we have to begin at the foundation. And here at CES, we say that F is for foundation, because we are building truly the foundational blocks that will eventually lead these kids to being not only fluent readers, but successful in life. We very recently have decided upon a writing initiative as well to counter the Reading Rockstar. So we are still working through what we're going to call that fabulous award, something like Amazing Authors or Writing Wordsmith, something to that degree, but we will actually have students writing displayed, and we will be celebrating them as well to bring all of the ELAR studies together and again cement that foundational skill that's necessary to be successful as they continue through their educational career.
Okay. Ms. Dexter, as well, just share your thoughts on the importance of reading at a young age.
Yes, my life's work has been teaching children to read. It is a passion that I can't let go. Here in Commerce, I spent 5 years. I feel like getting students ready for A.C. Williams, and I felt like that if I could at least get a year's growth, that we were both successful. I have always been supported by the community members in Commerce. They have always, in conferences, gotten on board as a teacher and said, what can I do to help? And without their help, I wouldn't have been as successful, and the students wouldn't have been as successful. I feel very blessed that Haley and I can just sit and have conversations about what can we do to help Commerce Elementary be successful. And when it's both of our passions, I mean, it's just wonderful to be able to say that we are both here and excited to see the growth that we see happening. And it can only get better. That's what we both believe.
Okay.
Very true.
And last question, this is just going to be for you, Ms. McDonald. The state, TEA, has really made a push for schools to roll out the Bluebonnet curriculum. So if you would, just talk a little bit about that transition for your campus, for teachers, and what it means for kids and our community in the future.
So as the Bluebonnet curriculum was presented, I, like everyone else, had to take a moment to just process through what I was being shown, dive into the materials, and really look at the scope and sequence, the pacing, and find the merit in it. It's still early, but at this point we are seeing growth, and that's documented through our IXL data. Also, we have been documenting all of our module and unit assessments, and we are seeing those TEKs that students struggle with most, working very hard in PLC to vertically align that with the TEKs that we see that they struggle with on STAR, at ACW, and all the way into their later years in school. And so with that, we have tried to really look at how can Bluebonnet benefit our students and help us with our overall goal of achieving literacy and improved reading scores across the board. And then recently we have also began to really look into the math data, because while my passion again is early literacy, we can't only focus on reading, we have to also acknowledge math. And you can't do math if you can't read what it's asking you to do. So therefore they go hand in hand. And so we've also been looking at how can we use Bluebonnet to drive our math achievement. And so with that, there are a lot of manipulatives involved. We do have transparency in the fact that it is posted online for parents to preview any content that's coming. The curriculum is great in that it provides a family letter that teachers that are encouraged to send home, and then that way the teacher, the parent, and the school at large are all in connection as to what we're going to be focusing on. And then we all have conversations, hopefully around the dinner table here in the classroom, and it's a complete circle, and those students are fully immersed in the information. And I do see really neat that I have witnessed this most recently, the content, because I personally am a history fan and history buff, and so to see students learning even just the premise of the Civil War or the War of 1812 or the Boston Tea Party, it's really neat. And then to see teachers becoming creative, bringing out teacups to show the difference between an actual tea party and the Boston Tea Party, or wearing a crown and using a callback such as "All Hail the Queen," just to make it more realistic for their students. It's been really neat to see our teachers embracing that, and through the process learning how they can be creative and still be their own autonomous selves and express themselves through teaching and learning. Even while using Bluebonnet as it's uniformed, they are still individual in their instruction.
Okay, thank you. Community members, I feel real blessed to have Miss McDonald and Miss Dexter running CES. They obviously have a passion for our kids and for learning. Both of their love for reading and literacy is going to pay dividends to our district for years to come. As always, I'd like to thank Miss Heather Kilgore, who's behind the camera today, and just hope everyone with our little tigers at home get books in their hands, read with them as much as you can at night. It makes such a difference in their educational futures. Go Tigers.
Go Tiny Tigers.